Vandenberg looking for the fade, looking for McNabb. He's got it for the touchdown.
For our next special guest, off to Iowa City we go as the Hawkeyes have the week off after getting their third win of the season last week. And the man who has led this Iowa team to a 3-1 start to the season, head coach Kirk Ferentz, joins us now. Coach, let's start with your quarterback, James Vandenberg. Assess his play 1 month into the season.
Well, I think James, for the most part, has done a great job. We had a good feeling coming into the season about him. Obviously, he played very well when Ricky Stanzi got hurt back in 2009 and did a great job last year as our backup. So I think we all felt good about James coming in. We also knew he'd have some ups and downs in September. Fortunately, he hasn't had too many downs, and I think he's in a pretty good rhythm right now.
So it sounds like there's not a lot of surprise in that you thought he'd be pretty good in the summer, you thought he'd be good last year. What specifically was it about him that you liked?
Well, I think he's got great poise, certainly. He's got a good demeanor, and that's important for a quarterback. And the other part I think that's really changed, coming out of camp in August, I didn't feel great about our receivers. We knew we had a good player with Marvin McNutt, certainly a player that has had success in Big Ten play. Outside of that, not much proven experience there. And I got to be honest, we really didn't practice very well in the month of August. So I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't really concerned about that 4 weeks ago. Probably one of the best developments we've seen in the past month. Our receivers have really caught the ball well the last 3 weeks, and they've really caught the ball well the last couple games.
Let's focus on one of those wide receivers, Kevonte Martin-Manley. Where'd he come from?
We were asking the same thing a couple of weeks ago, actually. Kevonte is one of the guys had a foot injury, toe injury back in August, and really was pretty much invisible during practice. He was out there, but really not showing up. And so if I was going to highlight one guy the last 2 weeks, he's come up with some big grabs. We felt really good about Kevonte in recruiting. We felt good about him last year. Really liked his attitude, his work habits, those types of things. And we were hopeful that he'd be a good player, but after August, it was kind of, we were all scratching our heads a little bit. But he's kept a great attitude. He's worked hard. And the fact, I think, also that Keenan Davis has come on now on the other side, that's opened up some opportunity for Kevonte. So as we sit here right now, we've got 3 guys at least that have proven they can catch the football and do some good things out there on the game field.
Let's turn to the flip side now. The Hawkeye defense hasn't been the Hawkeye defense we're used to seeing so far. How come?
Well, it starts with 3 things probably. We haven't tackled very well. We haven't contained the ball, and we've given up big plays. And it's hard to be a good defensive football team if you do any of those. We've been guilty of all 3 of those things over the weeks. But the positive there is that, first of all, I think we anticipated some challenges, with transition. We've graduated some outstanding players over the last 2 years, if you look at it. But I think we're on the right path. I think we've improved the last 2 weeks. We're hardly there yet, but at least we've seen enough on film to be a little bit encouraged and to think that if we keep working hard, at some point this season we'll have a representative defense.
Before we let you go, Kirk, I'm supposed to ask you about ice cream, specifically Ben & Jerry's Cherry Garcia. Why am I supposed to ask you about that?
Hopefully I'm not going to get in trouble with anybody else, because I like a lot of different kinds of ice cream. Blue Bunny out of Iowa is outstanding. Moose Tracks, I highly recommend that. But I don't bite my fingernails anymore. I quit that 12 and a half years ago. But I do not walk by ice cream and anytime there's Cherry Garcia in the freezer. I'm good for at least one of those a night, if not 2. So they're pretty good.
Is this like a victory, like after a win you have one, or you're saying if it's noon and you're just hungry?
If it's around, I may, if I know it's in the house, that's not a good thing.
Kirk Ferentz, congratulations on a 3-1 start. Best of luck with your bye week and your next game, your first one in the Big Ten.
Thanks, Mike.